the game. All right, I don't think there's anything else, but there is Teret, which is, we won't spend a whole lot of time on this, and Teruit, which is frightens, and obviously we get the word terrify and terror from this. Okay, that's good. This leaves us with a little bit of time to do some of the others. I will say, actually, so this is just some mythological figures down here, but I want to test to see if anybody can get this one. So as it says here, dead sinners being punished in the underworld. Sisyphus, who's a god, had to roll a giant stone forever. So he actually, they don't say the rest of the story, but he has to roll a stone up the hill, and then the stone goes down the hill, and then he has to go down the hill again, and he has to push the stone back up. This was his punishment. Ixion was tied to a revolving wheel, and Tantalus was never able to quench his raging thirst. Tantalus. Tantalus. This is a name of a god or a mythological character in Greek mythology. But we get an English word for something about being thirsty. I will give you that. And can anybody get it? Does anybody know? So it sounds very similar to Tantalus. Okay, very good guess. Tangy is a very good guess. Tantalizing, super good. Very, 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 very good. Awesome. So yeah, tantalizing. And so that's, for anybody who doesn't know, that's like when you really want to have, we'll just use a glass of water, for example. Say you've been in the desert for a day, and then somebody holds a glass of water up in front of you and says, no, but you can't have the water. What you feel in that moment is tantalization, is what we call it. And it's interesting because this whole word is just coming from the name of a god. And there are many other words that we will actually come across in word roots that are just coming from the names of different people from stories, which is really, really cool whenever we come across words that, yes, we have some I guess obvious ones like teret, which is, it just means to frighten something. Okay, this makes sense that terrify comes from this. But something like this, like for Tantalus, for instance, you kind of have to know the story to understand, this is why it's named this. There's lots others out there that we'll come across. For instance, I think the only other one I can think of right now is there is a god named Protos in ancient Greek mythology, and the word for proto and proton come from his name, actually. So that is one reason I'll say to you guys all is some people, when they get to university or college, whatever they go to, they will say, why is it that everybody takes Greek mythology? Why is Greek mythology, everybody says this is an important thing to take? I don't understand. I don't want to worship the Greek gods. And that makes sense that you feel this way. But this is the reason why, that it's kind of important to take at least some of those stories and learn what happens in them, is because a lot of our, not just our words, but the things we do in the Western world are revolving around a lot of these old stories. And so when you know them, it actually makes your knowledge of what you read a lot better. All right, so good. That was lots of fun, and we got, like I say, it's good to see some of those other words that aren't just more of the obvious ones that are a little bit unique, where it's actually maybe the name of a god. For instance, we have a lot of other ones. I think probably the more common one is Cupid, the god Cupid of love. We do actually have a few words that are coming off of his name. But yes, and some of them aren't such obvious gods either. Some of them are like, for instance, Tantalus is not a incredibly common figure in Greek and Roman religion. Okay, so we have about 8 minutes left. We should be able to get into the next group of words, at least introduce them. Okay, so for lesson 24, we really do have